In today's video, we're going to explore the most bizarre and unusual romances that our favorite talkative mercenary, Deadpool, has ever experienced. Leave your like and share today's video with your friends. Your subscription is also very important and would greatly help our channel. Let's go! Starting with Shiklah. Deadpool's romance with Shiklah is one of the most peculiar and chaotic in the entire history of Marvel Comics. It all begins when Deadpool is hired by Dracula to bring Shiklah, a demon queen, to marry him. Shiklah is a powerful creature capable of transforming into a huge and frightening beast, and she is the leader of an ancient lineage of monsters. When Deadpool finds her, Shiklah has been asleep in a sarcophagus for centuries. Upon waking, she reveals herself to be an imposing and seductive figure with a strong and fierce personality that quickly catches Deadpool's attention. Throughout the mission, Deadpool and Shiklah begin to bond, developing an unexpected chemistry. Despite their obvious differences, Deadpool being an immortal human mercenary and Shiklah being a monster queen, they connect in surprising ways. The two fall in love during the journey, and their romance is an explosive combination of love, adventure, and chaos. They share a dark sense of humor and a propensity for violence, which makes their relationship intense and filled with ups and downs. Deadpool and Shiklah eventually marry, with Deadpool taking on the role of King of Monsters. The wedding ceremony is as bizarre as one could imagine, involving a series of monsters, vampires, and other supernatural beings. However, their marriage is marked by constant conflicts. Shiklah, being a ruler used to commanding with an iron fist, clashes with Deadpool's chaotic and unpredictable personality. Over time, Shiklah's thirst for power and her desire to dominate the surface intensify, causing friction between the two. She even declares war on humanity, putting Deadpool in a difficult position, as he must choose between his loyalty to her and his ties to the human world. Eventually, Deadpool and Shiklah's marriage dramatically crumbles. The relationship, which began as an exciting adventure, transforms into a bitter battle. Shiklah betrays Deadpool and starts a relationship with a werewolf named Jack Russell, while Deadpool finds himself struggling to prevent Shiklah from causing further destruction. In the end, Deadpool and Shiklah separate, leaving behind a trail of chaos, epic battles, and a reminder that no matter how fun and passionate their romance was, it was doomed to collapse from the start. Now let's move on to Thor. The romance between Deadpool and Thor is one of the most unusual stories emerging from Marvel Comics, occurring in an alternate timeline known as Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe again. In this arc, Deadpool does not engage with the traditional Thor we know, but rather an alternative version of the heroine, closer to what Jane Foster would be as Thor, although the details and chronology vary according to the specific context of the story. It all begins when Deadpool is manipulated by the villains of the story to eliminate the heroes of the Marvel Universe. He is hypnotized and used as a puppet to carry out the sinister plan of exterminating all superheroes. Amid this devastating mission, he encounters Thor, the goddess of thunder, in a confrontation that quickly takes an unexpected turn. Instead of just fighting, an improbable connection begins to form. Thor, who is typically portrayed as a powerful and worthy warrior, finds herself intrigued by Deadpool's awkward demeanor and unpredictable behavior. He, in turn, is attracted to her strength, grace, and the depth of her sense of honor, something that starkly contrasts with the chaotic life he leads. This combination of mutual respect and attraction creates a strangely passionate dynamic. Instead of a brutal battle, their encounter becomes a mix of romance and confrontations, resembling more of a dance than a fight for survival. The chemistry between the two characters is unique because, on one side, Thor is a divine and noble figure, while Deadpool is the complete opposite, a broken mercenary and psychologically unstable. However, both share a strong independence and a desire to fight for what they believe in, even if those ideals, in Deadpool's case, are often distorted and self-destructive. Their relationship is short, intense, and filled with humor, typical of Deadpool's interactions. He often makes inappropriate jokes and flirts, while Thor responds firmly, though not without a hint of disguised affection. The tone of their relationship is always seasoned with absurdity, reflecting Deadpool's view of the world as one big cosmic joke. However, this romance is marked by the inevitability of a tragic end. Thor, being a principled heroine, knows that Deadpool is on a path of destruction, and that, eventually, they will have to confront each other for real. Lastly, let's talk about the romance between Deadpool and Death, the personification of death in the Marvel Universe, which is one of the most tragic, intense, and bizarre stories in comics. This relationship is unusual, not only because it involves Death herself, a cosmic entity, but also because it reveals deep aspects of Deadpool's psyche, exposing his desperate desire desire to escape suffering and find some kind of peace. The story of their romance begins with Deadpool's very curse, his immortality. Constantly regenerating from any injury, he is unable to die, even when he desperately wishes for it. It is in this context that he meets death for the first time, during a period of intense pain and agony. When Deadpool is tortured to the point of nearly dying, he begins to glimpse death by his side. Instead of encountering a terrifying figure, he finds a strangely comforting and seductive presence. Death is depicted as a woman of dark beauty, cloaked in robes, with an enigmatic personality that mixes compassion with coldness. But when she looks at her brother training again, she realizes that no one is born powerful. So, for her to do something, be useful to Konoha, and save her family if necessary, she would need to train to become stronger. But where to start? Himawari looks around and sees a large space where Team 7 is training. She realizes she needs a spacious place where she has the freedom to move. Himawari starts thinking of possible places, starting with a forest, but realizes it would be dangerous to train alone in a place where anyone could hurt her. She considers training inside the Ninja Academy, but those hours would likely be occupied by other ninjas. Finally, she remembers the Hyuga Mansion, which has plenty of space for training and suitable equipment for combat. As a Hyuga, she would have free access to roam inside the mansion without anyone interrupting her training. Himawari gets up and runs toward the Hyuga Mansion, but she had forgotten to say goodbye. She goes back and waves with a big smile on her face, her hand moving side to side. Her farewell is reciprocated by the three ninjas, allowing Himawari to head to the Hyuga Mansion. Some time passed. It was considerably late, but night had not yet fallen, so there was still some time for Himawari to train in a large area at the Hyuga Mansion. Himawari began to move in the way her mother had taught her when she was a child. With her hand open, she made movements as if pushing the air, repeating this many times. Himawari spent about 5 minutes doing the same gestures until her aunt Hanabi appeared. She approaches Himawari with a big smile on her face, letting out small chuckles. "What are you doing alone, and what are those movements?" Hanabi asks. "I'm training to get stronger because I want to become as strong as my dad and mom," Himawari says, with a shy smile on her face. "I think it's amazing that you want to train to become stronger, especially using the fighting techniques of our clan. But the way you're training is completely wrong. This way, you won't get stronger. You'll just make your body very exhausted," says Hanabi with a big smile, but she quickly stops laughing. "I don't really know where to start. My mom, dad, and brother are all too busy to help me, so I decided to do it on my own. I'm just using the basic knowledge I still remember learning from my mom." Himawari finishes her sentence with her head down, feeling considerably embarrassed. "I see. If you want to train the right way, I'm available. I can teach you many techniques that the Hyuga clan possesses, techniques that made Neji Hyuga known and respected worldwide," says Hanabi. Himawari quickly lifts her head and becomes very excited about the idea of learning to fight from her aunt Hanabi. Hanabi teaches Himawari the correct hand movements when using the gentle fist techniques. She also teaches her how to use the Byakugan correctly, so she can use both techniques together. After several hours of training, Hanabi finally stops and tells Himawari that she needs to rest to recover from all the effort she put in that day. Himawari returns home, where her mother is waiting with dinner already prepared, and her father has just arrived home. See you in the next video. Take care, heroes.